Hi everybody, these are some teaching tips for lesson 2, day 1, and I'm going to check my notes here so I get everything. What I'll do first is usually do this, and that means slide up in position 2. I'm trying to get them used to my silent cues. I like to use silence when I teach as much as possible since I just taught them the positions recently. So they'll slide up and I'll check all of it. I might comment positively on a child who's sitting correctly and say that's great posture there, things positive to help them keep that posture. Then I will ask them to show me where do is. So they'll put it on their body. And then I'll call out the names, Ray, me, or whatever, and go up and down the scale, and I'll have them show it and show the positions and place them properly. And I'll make comments about, make sure that you lift your hand up properly when you go to Ray. Don't keep it in the same spot. Things like this to help them do the correct things. We're teaching really important skills here in the early days. Sometimes I'll sign with them if I see that some of them are having trouble. Sometimes I'll point to the ladder behind me so that they know that they can use that ladder. Trying to get all the habits in place early in the method so that they can use those habits throughout the method with the success that we want them to have. I ask them to take a look at the ladder that is inside your lesson plan, and I tell them to tell me why they think this ladder would be tricky to climb. And they always notice the small step between, of course, me and fa and ti and do. And we want them to do that, so we just have them just stare at it and look at it, and then the child will raise their hand and they'll tell me what they see. And I will usually make a joke about it, like I would not want to come down off the roof of my house with that ladder because I'd fall and break a hip or something, just something to keep it light and funny. But it'll help them remember. Humor always does that. Then I'm going to have them demonstrate the differences between me and fa. I'll call attention to me and fa and ti and do. Like I show them how small I move my hand between the two. And I don't have a lot of space in the camera here, but the difference between do and ti versus going to la and then sol with those whole steps, and really bringing that into focus. And I'll have them do mi and fa for a few minutes, and then I'll go mi, fa, sol, and I'll call attention to, did you raise your hand bigger between fa and sol? If you didn't, you should have. All of these types of things, and we try to do those things in silence and have them really pay attention to their bodies, posture positions, and what they're doing with their hands. And if you just do it in silence, it'll help them focus on exactly what you want, which is the kinesthetic, the movements, where things go. Then I will go into singing some of the half steps. I'll sing a scale. I'll go from low do to high do, and I'll purposefully go sharp on fa, and they'll usually laugh at me. And I'll say something like, didn't I sound good? And they'll say, of course, no. And I'll ask where I made the mistake, and call attention to the fa and how sharp I was. And I'll do the same thing on ti and do. And I'll ask them if they could tell that I was out of tune. And I made it obvious enough that they could. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, like that, so they really hear. You want to make it really obvious because their ears are new and not trained yet, so we want to help them hear it. Then when I descend, I'll do it again, and I'll go flat from do to ti, or from fa to mi. I'll make the step too big on purpose. We like to make them laugh and remember. And that's how you call their attention into those half steps so that they learn to listen a little bit better. And the humor works great. And then when you play the game on this day, make sure you play and sing lots of half steps. And when you hear them a little bit out of tune, maybe you imitate it in a very non-threatening way. You have to be a little careful, but then you do it correctly. You can have them imitate you when you sing badly, sharp between mi and fa, for example, and then do it correctly and ask them if they can hear the difference. But keep the game moving. You don't want to get stuck. If you get stuck, you're going to lose them. And this is when we're going to be using the game throughout the system, so you want to make sure you're always moving the game forward, making your point, but then moving forward and actually getting to the competition part. But we're starting to sharpen their ears a little bit. This is a really important day for that process. So I hope that helps you with some of the teaching tips and things that you would do to help on lesson 2, day 1. Have a great day.